Okay, so this is CircleCI's dashboard. So essentially every time I commit something to my Git repo, CircleCI actually listens to that webhook and runs all of my tests for me. So as you can see, I've got a couple tests before that, have kicked off every time I, committed to that repo. And you can see some of them succeeded, some of them failed. We're going to basically set this up to where CircleCI will actually spin up a Linux server, run all of our tests for us, and then let us know if, one of the tests is not passing correctly throughout our entire application. And this all happens automatically as soon as you push to Git. So the first step to, get started with CircleCI is to actually create a new folder called .circleci. So we'll do that. Now, I already have this set up on my CircleCI dashboard because I actually demoed this before. But essentially all you have to do is create this CircleCI directory and create a file inside that called config.yml. I think it's pronounced YAML, but I don't really even know. So we'll just go with that for now. So CircleCI kind of has these configuration files that we use to set up each of our, environments. So there's different versions of CircleCI that you can use. A lot of this is going to be copy and pasted, but essentially we just go with version 2. There's basically this thing called jobs, and jobs just tells it exactly what jobs that you want to perform once, the webhook is observed and all the tests run. So to run our tests, we basically do this. So under the build section, we want to add Docker. And under Docker, we want to add an image. And CircleCI has a bunch of Docker images for us to use. So I'll say CircleCI/node. So I'll use node 12.4.0. So the working directory would just be repo. I believe CircleCI stores all, pulled code into repo. And then we need to define our steps. So the first thing we want to do is check out from the repo. Second, actually, is a cache. So we want to restore any cached dependencies because, as you know, NPM node modules is the heaviest object in the universe. So we'll do the restore cache essentially after this, build process or this first test container in Docker is spun up and ran. It will cache everything here. And so we'll see how to save the cache in a second. But the second step is to restore cache. So we need to define keys to restore the cache under. And then we basically want to run a command. And in this case, it's going to be npm install. So we want to just run our npm install command. And then we want to save cache. So this is where the restore cache keys get restored from after we save. I believe that should be, no, I don't think so. Restore cache keys, yeah, that's right. So for save cache, we will just define the paths that we want to save. And all this is like node modules. So I don't want to basically pull node modules every time because that would take forever. So this is basically just making our continuous integration environment more performant and efficient. And then the key for this is the same thing that we had up here. So we'll just store this as the key. And then we'll go ahead and run npm test. And so that will do exactly what we did on our local machine and run all these tests. So first, actually, let me just fix the search function so that it works correctly so you guys can see how it works. Okay, so our CircleCI config is done. So I'm going to say git status so you have files changed. So we'll go ahead and commit this. Okay, so I'm pushing to GitHub right now. And if we refresh our CircleCI dashboard, you can see that we have another build job in our dashboard. So this one actually looks like it failed. And it says has incorrect indentation. It should be formatted like this for steps. Let's see what happened here. I think it might be another indent here. Not totally sure on that, but let's try it again. Okay, sweet. So this time it worked. I basically had to change the indentation of both this and the save cache, in case you're wondering. And essentially, so you can see now in CircleCI, I have all the builds that just failed because I'm a noob at indentation in YAML. But this build 11, you can see that the NPM essentially ran, but this time, since you saw the tests earlier that ran on my local machine, and now our tests in CircleCI look exactly the same. Except in CircleCI, it's running in the cloud, listening to the GitHub webhooks, and runs every single time that you make a change to the Git repo. So now, let's say that, the same, junior developer comes along, he deletes all this stuff and, does whatever, and then says git commit and says fixed your code, bro. Forgot to add. Okay, so let's go back to CircleCI. And you can see that the build is running. So we just wait for it to run. Okay, and now you can see in CircleCI this build has failed, which was expected because we removed those two lowercase lines. And so now this last test that we wrote now fails. So this is really cool because ideally, this guy would be working off a separate branch and we wouldn't merge anything that wouldn't pass, obviously, into master. So that's about it for the automated testing with CircleCI. If you enjoyed this, feel free to check out more. My website is gabethecoder.com, so make sure that you go there and check it out. I need views. So, yeah. On that note, I will see you next time.